What's going on, guys? My mom is sleeping right now because it's 2:18 in the morning, and I just got home, kind of. I worked all day, so give me a break. I was gonna make this earlier, but I couldn't. But I want to read you guys something. This is a children's book that I wrote in Children's Lit 2 semesters ago in community college, and I want to read it to you guys. It's called Alpert. Inside cover page. All hand drawn. One of Albert's favorite things to do is run. He loves it. He loves when it rains and he can run and splash in the leftover puddles. He always ties his left shoe first, making sure to tie it tight. Then he ties his right one. No one, especially Alpert, wanted a repeat of last year when he tripped on his shoelace, landing his face directly into a blackberry. That's him doing that. But yeah, don't mind my reading. Okay. After he finished tying both his shoes, he ran out the door faster than a woodpecker on the first day of spring, almost forgetting to close the door behind him. Mom would have a fit, he thought, as he ran towards the open field surrounding the home his mother's mother had built. That was back when the field was a beautiful forest filled with flowers, vines to swing on, and millions of branches to climb. Alpert could only imagine what it might have been like running through a forest instead of an open field. But he didn't care. All he cared about was showing everyone how fast he was with his brand new shoes. That's everyone's brand new shoes. He stood at the start line he had drawn in the dirt the night before. It was still visible even though the night had swallowed it up and given it back before the day had come. Alpert planted his stronger foot in front of those weaker so he could get a good push off from the starting line. Then a thought struck him in the head. Bang! A gunshot fired and Albert was already halfway down the dirt path leading to his home. He leapt over the ditch he dug last summer when his uncle Charlie convinced him, "There's gold in there, dirt." As he showed him a piece of fool's gold to give him hopes of more, until Charlie was a crow. Uncle Charlie was a crow, always known for his tricks. Okay, that was kind of confusing. Don't mind that. It doesn't have to do with anything. Sorry if you can't hear me either. The green side of the field was hot from the sun, and Alpert could see his shadow. "Try to keep up," he shouted as he sprinted faster. He ran so fast he had made it to the creek in half the time he usually did. He looked at his shoes already grass-stained out of the box. They weren't even made for show, they were made for speed, he smirked. When he finally looked away from his already worn-in shoes, he saw three Barnes brothers standing on the other side of the creek, gathering sticks and twigs for Mama Barnes' nest. "Why don't you fly to our side?" yelled Bradley Barnes, the oldest of the three. "Yeah, fly on over," followed the other two in suit, trying to look tough in front of the eldest kin. Even if Alpert could fly, he wouldn't fly to the Barnes brothers' side. The Barnes brothers always hassled Alpert whenever they saw a chance. After a few dirty looks, all three brothers flew to the other side of the creek. They had enormous wings compared to Alpert at least, and Bradley Barnes set out to make sure Alpert knew it. Today was no different. "What are you wearing?" Stanley Barnes squeaked, trying to sound tough in front of his brothers, but only feeling embarrassed. He couldn't even take off with those things on his feet, even if he wanted to. The three brothers spun around in satisfaction as they planted their shoeless feet on the ground. With a running start, they took off into the sky, starting off slow but eventually gaining speed. Alpert watched as their figures disappeared into the distance. Then he ran home. Alpert returned home like most evenings, tired and hungry with the dinner waiting for him. Mother hadn't left home since father was killed by a wild cat near the barnyard. It seemed forever ago, but it had only been a few months. Alpert was now the man of the house and had to act like it. Alpert placed the day's haul of acorns and berries into the coffee table. The table had been carved out of a piece of driftwood his father found while down at the creek, reminding Alpert of times with his father. Then he washed up for dinner. My back hurts. The next morning, Alpert woke up and laced his day-old grass-stained shoes. He ran towards the creek as fast as he could to beat the Barnes brothers there. I'll challenge them to a race, then we'll see who's faster, he thought as he came over the far hill of the field. Eyeing the creek, he quickly noticed the water was already occupied by three bodies. He didn't care. Today was the day the Barnes brothers would never make fun of him again. Let's race, Alpert shouted before any of the other brothers had a chance to make a sound. Come on, are you chicken? He asked as he started to draw a starting line with a stick. Without a word, all four were lined up in a row. No one had ever said aloud where the race would end, but they all knew it would be at the old barn down by the other side of the field. Uh-oh. Bang! Alpert shouted along as he pushed off with his stronger leg. It had been the first time Alpert raced anyone besides the wind in a while, but it didn't matter. He started off kind of slow, knowing he had to pace himself. Then he got a full sprint towards the end of the race. Alpert had one with still some breath to catch. Thumbs up if you like the drawings. The Barnes brothers finally arrived at the barn tired and defeated. So what are you going to laugh at us now? Wheezed Bradley Barnes, trying to catch his breath. Why would I do that? Asked Alpert. Why can't we be friends and still be different? Aw. Alpert saw the looks on all three of the Barnes brothers' faces change in a moment. He had thought he had made an impression on them, but they looked like they were stricken with fright. Oh no. A moment oh wait, hold on. Crap, did I skip a page? Yes I did. Alright. Alpert turned around and saw a big black cat licking its whiskers as he thought of a bird for dinner. In a split second, Alpert had turned the opposite way and started running. He ran faster than the Barnes brothers, who didn't have time to take flight. They had to rely on their running skills for survival. Sammy Barnes, the youngest of the three, who was still tired from the race, was caught by the tail feathers by the cat. When Alpert looked back, he was reminded of his father and started running back towards the captured brother in the clutches of the evil cat. The two remaining brothers finally reached enough speed to take off and land on a nearby bird-friendly ledge. A moment before the cat got Sammy Barnes first in his mouth, Alpert stomped his shoe-covered foot down on the cat's waving tail. The cat jumped up, screeched, and hid under the porch, whimpering. Sammy Barnes, still scared stiff, finally peeked out from under his wing and saw Alpert standing in front of him, reaching out for help. "Why did you help me?" asked Sammy as Alpert helped him to his feet. "We all need help sometimes," replied Alpert. Alpert never saw the black cat again after that. This is long. It was a project, sorry. Alpert woke up and did what he normally did. He tied his left shoe first, making sure it was tight, then he tied his right one, planted his stronger foot at the faded started line he had drew early spring, and pushed off heading towards the creek. It was now late summer and Alpert still saw the Barnes brothers at the creek every day, only instead of fighting, all four gathered berries and nuts for Alpert's mom, and together they collected sticks for Mama Barnes. Once all the work was done, they would all play in the creek. Oh, they're hanging out now. The harvest seemed to be bigger than any other year. Mama Barnes' nest had grown with so much space that she didn't know what to do with it. The Barnes brothers got 3 pairs of brand new shoes. Alpert taught them how to tie their shoelaces and how to pace yourself when running. The Barnes brothers tried to teach Alpert how to fly, but it was no use. He wasn't made to fly. He was made to run. The end. Where's the back? And there's the back. Sorry that was so long. Wow, that was exactly 10 minutes. I'm just gonna stop it now. Thumbs up if you like my cartoon, and thumbs up if you want me to show you more drawings and stuff I did. Yeah.